Unlearn, relearn, never stop learning. I think that's the most important thing. If you're always open minded and then embrace the new things and implement in everything you do, you will adapt. So the future is not for the strongest, it's for the one who are adapting themselves faster.
So, welcome everyone. We are here in Sao Paulo. More than 25,000 people came together to celebrate VTEX Day. And we are so excited because we have the whole ecosystem of commerce of Latin America, but not only Latin America. It's the world. We have more people than last year, and people are coming from 37 countries. And we have a European leader here with me, a good friend of VTEX and myself, Albert, that join the podcast are going to share amazing ideas, challenges, and advice for everyone around the world. So thank you so much, Albert, for being here with us. And please introduce yourself and let me know and let us know who is Albert, who is MacroMex, what is MacroMex, and your background.
Thank you, Santiago. Thank you for having me. So it's a pleasure and honor to be here. It's my first time in Sao Paulo. So what I see here is absolutely amazing. So I started my career more than 25 years ago in CPG business, consumer packed business. It's previously fast moving consumer goods, which is one of the biggest industry. I started with Unilever, 14 years. I've been moving in different countries, different geographies, different functions. So after 14 years, I stepped out and I moved to a Romanian entrepreneurial company called MacroMex. So I joined in 2012, already 14 years by now. So we started from a purely, let's say, classical distribution business. So my ambition is to move MacroMex to a tech-driven company, food company, which will be enabled by digital transformation and move to a next level.
Yes, sir.
So MacroMex is a marketing, selling, distribution, logistics, and production company, more than 200 million euro in the country. So I think it's the right moment with the production and with the technology which we have developed to go outside Romania. So this is my new venture if you want to scale the business, not just with the product, but also with the technology.
It is one of the biggest challenges that any company have. You want to diversify your income, you want to address different market shares, but there is a challenge when you have a diverse portfolio and you want to scale, and then you need to be able to be efficient on how you operate. So the concept of a large portfolio with an amazing efficiency process is not normal in the companies, but is the recipe to be able to scale. What would be your advices or your ideas on this? How to scale outside of Romania with a big portfolio, but with big and strong operational efficiency?
So first of all, you need to build the resilience in the portfolio.
Yeah.
You have to build the resilience in the way you sell. I mean, to sell in different channels. Never depend on one customer, never depend on one product. You have to be resilient in that. In these days, you have to build on the supply chain resilience as well. You see disruptions in the supply chain every day. So to provide the product to the market, you need to make sure that you have the product. In order to have the product, you have to make sure that your supply chain is having, let's say, a backup plan in case something will happen in a certain area. So for example, we buy, let's say, vegetables from 2 or 3 countries in different geographies. We buy potato in different geographies. We buy meat from different geographies. Why is that? Because you need to build resilience. Now, logistic efficiencies or efficiencies in the business, you have to build, but you have to make sure that you are not blocking the development. if you are very, very efficient, you would not scale the business, because then you will, make it so efficient that you are not able to scale it. So in order to come back to your questions, what takes to expand the business? Takes a USP, takes a process, takes knowledge of the business you are in, and takes technology in the end of the day. Otherwise, you are going to build just the classical model, which is outdated by day.
This concept of having a resilient company is a very important one, and I touch my heart, because to have a company that do not depend on one specific product and doesn't depend on one specific client, it's very difficult. It is very difficult, but it's the only like a strong foundation that will allow you to know if you have something to scale or you need to stay. In your industry, you are in the food industry, is correct? You have additional challenges. You need to have the security, the health, all the chain on the processes. How you are able to do it? Can you bring us a little bit for the one that are only on retail, that we can, for example, to put some t-shirt in our warehouse for 3 years and sell it back? Your industry is very difficult. It is different. Can you share a little bit about that?
So just to understand a bit more questions is how do you build resilience in the business? This is the question, or
And even in your specific industry, that even is harder.
first thing is to select very well the partners which are coming in your portfolio, because we do not produce everything. We work with different partners. So we select very, very carefully the partners. The partners need to have a certain resilience in their own businesses in order to make sure that we are having the right product in the right moment. We work, for example, in Europe with different sites of productions, which then work with the farmers. So based on the experience of that company, they guarantee that the output of vegetables would be enough for us to get that. So sometimes, because the weather is bad, sometimes we pay the full price, even that we get lower quantities. You have to build that because it's an ecosystem. It's the producer, the farmers, and the distributor. So all of those, that triangle needs to work. So if you take care of your system, the system will take care of you if you need. So, and then we select very carefully the partners. Sometimes there are, new partners which are coming, and then we need to somehow audit them. We need to do a test with them, because otherwise, I don't know you. So if you are as a supplier, so if you do not able to provide me with the right product, I am going to have my 15,000 customers which I have with no product, and that's very bad for me. I have to be trustworthy to those customers I have in order to provide them the right product. So it's a full chain of trust and full chain of, let's say, build trust in the system, but in the same time check your partners very, very carefully.
I love that. If you take care of the system will take care of you. It's not a short-term relation. It's a
No. Sometimes you have to pay more to get the product rather than buy always at the lowest price, because it's not in the end of the day about the price. It's about the customer experience which you are creating to your customers. What I mean by that is that our 15,000 customers are looking at us and they would like to have a nice or a good experience with us. From the moment they order, from the moment that our delivery guy is, delivering the product, from the moments of, getting in contact with the company. For example, you did not pay your invoices. You have to talk in a certain way with the customer.
Yes.
In the moment where you are asking a question or ask for solutions. So if the customer has a good experience with you in all those areas, then you leave a good impression, and that will build trust and that will build business. So it's a system which is, so if you take care of that, then the business is sustainable.
I love it. And you talk about consumer, and this is the most important part. How the consumer behavior is evolving.
Well, the CPG industry is in a situation where the trends are changing dramatically because we CPG industry we build brands
Yes.
and we rely on brands using retailers. Now, the concept of private label from the retailer appeared 30, 40 years ago. But then the evolution in the market right now is from private label to private brand. So consumers are perceiving the brands of the retailer as real brands, not as a private label. Therefore, the CPG industry is now facing a big time. And a moment of, let's say, truth is when consumer is asked, which brands do you trust? And then you see private brands receiving a vote from the consumer as a brand I trust.
Wow.
That's scary, which means that they are providing better products, better innovations. Of course, they have the advantage of the store, but in the end of the day, we as a CPG industry, we need to do more with our brands. We need to add more value in the system. We need to create more experiences to the consumers in the end of the day, because otherwise our business is going to disappear. And there is something else, Santiago, here is the way the new generation is shopping is changing the world. I mean, I will give you my personal example,
Please.
which I think it's relevant to the entire Gen Z population. My daughter is studying in Italy,
Okay.
and then she said, "Daddy, I love Lidl. I love Lidl because I can have more money to buy cosmetics and to go out with my friends. And by the way, the products are extremely good." So the young population is not seeing the brands of retailers anymore as a private label. They see it as a brands. They see it as a valuable products. So this is how the CPG industry is facing. And the third thing is the retailers, they have the contact with the consumer and they build databases with the consumer. They build data, they know behavior, they know what they are buying. They know if consumers, they have dogs or not, if they have kids or not, if they, do a certain combination or a certain things, which means the retailers, they have the data, while the CPG industry, the brands, they do not have so much data as the retailers because
It's a world there.
exactly. So this is the big brands who develop an omni-channel model to get the consumer data constantly year after year to build a database and to communicate directly with the consumers. That was is now a very good model. But which company started 20 years ago to build data about the customer and then developed on that? So this is where the CPG industry is right now and is facing big challenges.
And to be able to connect the consumer, the products, the brands, do you think the industry is taking advantage of AI, is doing the correct move on AI?
So I think the industry is now a bit stuck, shocked, and they don't know how to approach it. I've seen
Agree.
a new release from McKinsey, and they said agentic and agents are everywhere, but the adoption is very low. Because when it comes to the companies to adopt a certain AI agent, they are stuck. They don't know how to do it, how to implement, how to get it. So this is where is right now. Huh? So we need, in terms of, as I said early on, you need to create a database with the customer to have the customer data or the consumer data. You need to communicate with them. You need to have this to orchestrate those agents within the company to make sure that you are getting in contact with your consumers in a totally different way. Otherwise, would be different, companies who is going to do it, and others who are going to, lag behind that. But in the end of the day, we have to see this AI-driven, let's say, business as a solution to increase the productivity of our people rather than to replace the people. You have to do this change mindset in a certain way, and you have to take it bit by bit. If you start to say we don't need people in the companies to use AI, or AI will replace the people in the company, I think the resistance in the system is going to be extremely hard. If you say this is a tool to increase your productivity, to become better, to evolve better, to concentrate on the most important thing in the company rather than, tasks which are operations, then you have higher chances to implement that in the company.
You are talking here about industry, about globalization, about product, and we are excited. It's a concept that is stuck in my brain. What does it truly mean to create a resilient company? This concept of resilience, I like it a lot. Can you share?
I think if I look at what we are doing right now, and then how to create a resilient, sustainable company, I have to do a parenthesis here. What does it mean, sustainable company? Meaning a company who can grow year after year, not having one shot and then you're not able to replicate that volume. Sometimes you sell, but you are not able to sustain that sell. So sustainable means not from the, let's say, eco-friendly point of view, but from sustainable business point of view.
Yes.
So it requires two things: digital transformation of everything you have in the business.
Yes.
And then requires a good team to make sure that this is the business processes and governance together with the digital transformation is going to be connected. Because in the end, I'll tell you something: if you don't have people, you don't have anything. Because you may have desk business, laptops, cars, but in the end of the day, the people are creating businesses. And then it's a phrase which somebody else said it: if you take care of people, the people will take care of you. So
Yes.
in the end of the day, if you create a good governance, a digital business, and the right team, then you are able to create a sustainable business in the end of the day.
Excited. Albert, you are one of a kind leader. From your experience in CPGs, now entrepreneur, now successful company in Romania, now the moving next steps to move and scale outside of your country. It's obvious that you are a successful person and people admire you. Can you share with us a principle that you have as a leader to be able to grow?
So if I look at a number of years, something which helped me a lot, and I think it's at the backbone of everything I do, I will tell you three things: unlearn, relearn, never stop learning. I think that's the most important thing. If you are always open-minded and then embrace the new things and implement in everything you do, you will adapt. So the future is not for the strongest, is for the one who are adapting themselves faster.
What a sentence to close. So, Albert, do you want to do any question? Do you want to share something? Do you want to bring something?
I think this podcast is also for the new generation or for the
Yes.
new generations of leaders. So I think something which I learned a lot is in the last 20 years is have a courage to lead, go out there, stay close to people, and never stop learning. I think that's the best advice which I can give you.
Thank you, Albert. Thank
Thank
you
you.
to MacroMex. Thank you for your time here with us in Sao Paulo and VTEX Day and with our partnerships. That was an amazing podcast. Thank you for sharing everything. Thank you, always, for the setup and everything here.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Santiago.